Hello everybody, it's Stewart A. Swerdlow.
And Janet Diane Moria Swerdlow.
And this is the Expansions News Podcast for the very end of September 2017, maybe even beginning of October, I don't know. Does it? Oh, back to me? Okay. Anyway, we just came back from a very wonderful wedding of my oldest son in New York, and we had a very wonderful time. People are commenting based on my blog about my dancing. I don't know why that's so different. Would they think I don't dance, or I don't dance? Why would they be so shocked about it? And somebody even commented they would pay money to see the video, or if I would dance for them personally. I said for money I would, but I'm keeping my clothes on. And they said, well, they'll even pay if I don't. So we'll see what happens with that one. And I said it would not be pretty, right? You never say anything. Anyway, let's go to a very important topic. Venezuela. Now, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro told his starving nation, they have no money, no nothing, blah, blah, to eat rabbits that they've been keeping as pets. I guess in Venezuela, pet rabbits are a big thing. Okay,
listen to me. What's wrong with this story? These are poor, starving people.
Right, yes.
Most people who are poor cannot afford to have pets.
Well, a rabbit just eats grass and, stuff like that.
Most people who are poor cannot afford to have pets. If they're poor and they're starving, they're going to eat their rabbit anyway.
Could you eat a rabbit?
If I was starving.
We have a son that did eat a rabbit.
I eat rabbit.
But I would not do that.
I ate rabbit when I was in Italy. A lot of cultures eat them.
No, that's a big rodent. It's a rodent with big ears.
It doesn't matter.
And I'm not eating it.
People eat them.
I would rather starve.
People eat them.
No bugs and no rabbits.
People eat all of that.
Anyway, and this President Maduro said that he wants to make sure the population has rifles, missiles, and well-oiled tanks that are ready, because the United States declared war. Did you know that the United States declared war on Venezuela?
Amid a war of words.
He said, we have been shamelessly threatened by the most criminal empire that ever existed, and we have the obligation to prepare ourselves to guarantee peace. This is the man who has his soldiers shoot the people in the street when they protest.
And so they want to make sure the people have rifles and missiles and well-oiled tanks.
Right. Do you have any of those?
But they don't have any food.
We don't even have rabbits. We couldn't even eat a rabbit.
No, well, we do. They live next door.
Yeah, that's true. We have seen rabbits.
I could get them. They're very small.
You would eat them?
Yeah. But they're small. They would only be like one bite.
You could have my bite.
I would eat it if I was
hungry. In fact,
hungry.
you can bite me. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. Now, Venezuela faces a severe food shortage. And there's many people who took part in a pilot project for the rabbit eating initiative by placing bow ties on the bunnies and keep them as pets and cuddle with them.
Stop.
That's and you know what that reminds me of?
No.
What did I report a few weeks ago on the movie Harvey with the big rabbit? There's a rabbit thing going on.
And the hurricane.
Going on.
And
yes.
I agree with that aspect of it. I do not agree with the rest of the article.
Well, could you agree or not? That's what's in the news.
It might be a fake news. Just because it's in the news doesn't mean
every
it's real.
news is fake news. I'm just reporting and deciphering.
And so I'm
now, there's low supplies.
And I'm deciphering my version.
Okay, back to me. Low supplies of food and medicine are leaving millions of people starving and desperate for medical treatment. And here's the interesting thing. Roughly 75% of Venezuelans lost an average of 19 pounds, which would be, like 8 kilos, almost 7 or 8 kilos.
And how do they know that?
Because they all got skinny. Yeah. And the U.S. government in August put sanctions on Venezuela, banned American finance companies from giving them money, especially to its oil company. And Trump in August said he would not rule out a military option to resolve the political struggles of it. What is it his business what's going on in Venezuela?
What is it U.S. business?
He can't fix what's here. What is he talking about Venezuela?
I'm just telling you.
So let's invade all of South America and the Caribbean and create a new empire. Of course, that would be the emperor. But, that's the next thing. So another Trump dilemma, North Korea. And here's what's really interesting. California officials have taken the recent threats by Kim Jong-un of a nuclear attack in the United States, of warning to Southern California as North Korean threats heighten. Los Angeles area Joint Regional Intelligence Center, okay, intelligence does not go with LA area, issued a worrying bulletin last month outlining how catastrophic a nuclear attack would be in Southern California. Really? Like just Southern California? Like no place else would be catastrophic? Seriously. Anyway, the report states that North Korea's intercontinental ballistic missile test could theoretically reach the west coast of the U.S. Well, we don't know if that's true or not. And there's apparently a document called the Nuclear Attack Response Considerations Bulletin, which is dated August 16th, and it says for official use only. It was circulated last month to Los Angeles area local, state, and federal agency personnel, and also throughout the Department of Homeland Security and other federal agencies across the country. And this is my favorite part. In the section of Radiation Protection Basics, tell us to this people, the report says on what to do during a nuclear attack. Okay, this is it. It says, during a nuclear attack, lie face down and place your hands under the body to protect exposed skin. Remain flat until the heat and shock waves have passed. Then your skeleton can get up and walk around. Who writes this stuff?
I don't know where you're getting
Seriously,
the news from.
this is on regular news, okay? It says the public will need to evacuate, you think, but with limited understanding of radiation risks, it is LA, they will experience high anxiety, like they don't now, and may be non-compliant. It's Los Angeles.
In other words, they're going to run instead of lay flat
Seriously.
on their stomach.
It says, this is like, if it wasn't so stupid and seriously, it says the consequences of a nuclear attack in Southern California would be catastrophic. Any place would be catastrophic. Who is writing this? Nonetheless, government entities and first responders are expected to remain operational in their skeleton form, to preserve human life, which won't exist anymore, maintain order, and aid in the recovery of process. Recovery of what? Ashes? I mean, seriously. Only Southern California would write such a thing. Amazing. I'm going to have another LA story later on, which is as equally ridiculous. Now, back to North Korea. President Donald Trump warned North Korea this week that any U.S. military option would be devastating for Pyongyang. And he said that the U.S. official, speaking on conditions of anonymity, said satellite imagery had detected a small number of North Korean military aircraft moving to the northeast coast. That means like these were like the paper planes that they fly, that they fold and they fly. That's what they detected. And it said that it did not change their assessment of Pyongyang's military posture. Here's, again, another favorite part. North Korean Foreign Minister Ri Young-ho, so is his wife a Young-ho also? Anyway, accused Trump of declaring war on the North and threatened that Pyongyang would shoot down U.S. warplanes flying near the Korean Peninsula. We clearly have postured our forces to respond in the event of a provocation or a conflict, the general said. But of course, they had flown near North Korea, and the North Korean military did not detect the American planes. So, they're a big threat, aren't they? Now, this is the name I really like. This is a person named Evans Revere. His son is Paul Revere. Anyway, Evans Revere, a former senior diplomat who met with the North Korean delegation in Switzerland this month, said that Pyongyang had been reaching out to organizations and individuals to encourage talk with former U.S. officials to get a sense of the Trump administration's thinking. Here's a clue, North Korea. Trump administration does not think. They've also been accepting invitations to attend dialogues hosted by Switzerland and the Russians. Well, that will be helpful to the United States. So, quite honestly, my opinion is nothing will happen because it's just, like two, I'm sorry, mentally disturbed children fighting in the sandbox in the play yard.
It's just the show.
Yeah. Now, let's go to Germany. Another really amazing. Now, this is an interesting story because it confirms what I had predicted. Angela Merkel's Conservative Party retained its control over German parliament in this last week's election, but the far-right Alternative for Germany, known as AfD, or Alternative für Deutschland, has raised major fears and anxieties among Jewish groups and Germans alike. The AfD is the third largest party now in the Bundestag, the German parliament, and Merkel's party only has 33% of the vote, which is the lowest margin it's ever had. So critics say that the hardline party is anti-Semitic, neo-Nazi, racist, and that in light of Germany's history, the victory is a tragedy for the country. Now, the Nazi party is illegal in Germany, so how did this happen? They are like, and here it says, this is a German citizen, they are like the Nazis under Hitler. A German citizen who lived through the Holocaust told the BBC, I was born in 1939, I'm a war child, I grew up in the ruins, and now we get this again, they are criminals. German Jews, in particular, were horrified by the AfD's win. This result is a nightmare come true, said the chairwoman of Munich's Jewish community and the Council for Jews in Germany. The AfD will bring exclusion, inwardness, aggression, contempt for humanity, conspiracy theories, folkish nationalism, neo-Nazism, violating the Constitution, Holocaust denial, anti-Semitism, racism, anti-religiousness, hostility towards the media in Europe, revisionism, and historical relativism.
That's a lot.
You think she was upset? Jeez. Okay, the rise of the extreme right in Germany is indicative of dangerous moods that are growing stronger, and xenophobia, racism, and extremism have conquered a significant portion of the German, and that's because of Angela Merkel. She allowed all these immigrants in to destroy Germany, and this is what she got. She deserves it. But then again, that was her plot all along.
That was the plan.
But this is what's interesting, is that to many Germans, this parallels the rise of the Nazi Party and the AfD's celebratory vow to take back the country and the people. Isn't that what Trump said? So what's happening in Germany, what's happening in the United States, identical.
Well, he's German. I always tell people
Half German. So and here's another quote from German Foreign Minister Sigmar Gabriel. For the first time since the end of the Second World War, real Nazis will sit in the German parliament. Now, technically, it's illegal, so how did this happen? So the Fourth Reich, as I predicted, people, it's back. Well, it's here, and I told you this. But what's interesting is they are in alignment with the Israelis. Prime Minister Netanyahu praised the German election. Remember that story I told you when I was in Finland? Strange Bedfellows articles, the neo-Nazis went to Israel to join alliance with the Israeli government. So watch what's going on, people. Everything I predicted to you in Blue Blood, True World History, and recently is now coming true. Now, let's go to Poland. The nationalists who rule Poland are proving to be more clever than the EU people who accuse them of undermining the rule of law, but hasn't yet sanctioned. So what is the rule of law according to the EU? Because the EU creates laws from people who are not elected. So, hello? And the Polish government has especially angered the EU. Now, the PIS, which is the Polish party that is President Duda, he's the president of Poland, and he won the presidency in 2015. He has done a lot, they say, to move the country to authoritarianism. I didn't know that was a word. It started by taking firm control of the country's constitutional court and turned publicly owned media into party propaganda channels and push legislation without consulting other political forces. And it handed the Justice Ministry broad power over regional courts. But here's the real key why EU is upset with Poland, and Poland's not paying attention to them. They're worried that Poland is moving back towards this old Soviet communist thing, but here's the real reason. And I found this one-liner. Poland could be the next hub for innovative technology startups. So that's the real reason. They want to control the Polish money and economic benefits, and the EU is not democratic, and then in fact it is a dictatorship, and they're concerned that Poland is not saying, hey, you know what, screw you, we're doing our own stuff. So good for Poland. And I'll be there, by the way, next month. Now, back to US and Los Angeles. Now, people need to pay attention to this, because the Los Angeles region's earthquake potential score, or it's a gauge for assessing the likelihood of a destructive earthquake, has surpassed the level assigned to it from the last big earthquake in 1994. And they're saying each small earthquake raises the score, which is only then reset to zero after larger. So once there's a big earthquake, they reset to zero, but since there hasn't been since 1994, it's gone up, 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 up. And just last week was a 3.6, which I mentioned last week in the podcast, so that's increased the level of heightened earthquake possibility. And it says the earthquake potential is uncomfortably high any way you look at it. And it says if the earthquake potential score is a thermometer, we're getting uncomfortably warm, maybe even hot. So people in LA, I've warned you. Now scientists are telling you it's any moment. In the last earthquake, everybody made fun by putting plastic chairs that fell over and water bottles. It's not funny, because that's just the beginning. That's what happened in Pompeii. And where is Pompeii now? It's gone.
Under ash.
Yeah. Now, Middle East, or actually Central Asia, the Kurdish people, which we talk about a lot, the Kurds in northern Iraq overwhelmingly voted to secede from the country. Now, those of you who attended my September spectacular class, I told you that Iraq is not a real country. It was created by the British. It was pulled 3 different countries together: Kurdistan, Baghdad, and Basra, each of which were provinces of the Ottoman Empire, which were then pulled apart after World War I and made into this fake country of Iraq. So, in effect, the Kurds really should have their own country. Now, 93% of the voters approved the referendum for independence, but this has upset the Iraqi central government, as well as Turkey and Iran, because they have Kurdish people living in there. Several regional airlines said they would suspend flights to the airports in the Kurdish region to put pressure and, listen, to punish and isolate the Kurds. That's humanitarian, to punish people for independence? Really? Be ashamed of yourself, those airlines. I'd boycott those airlines. The Kurds are spread out through Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Turkey, and there are about 35 million of them. Did you know that? We only know one of them. This right here was considered a terrorist by the Turks and the United States government. He's a homeless, stateless person who was a good person. Anyway, our Arab and Iranian neighbors are often referred to as the largest ethnic group in the world without. The Kurds are the largest ethnic group in the world without a country. So, Israel is the only country in the world that recognizes their independence and has actually supported the Kurds for over 60 years.
That's it?
Back to you.
All right, I thought you were going to talk about the Bali volcano.
Ah, you didn't prompt me for that.
I just did.
Yeah, they're...
But I thought you had that in your news.
Well, I didn't, because, it's very traumatic to me. Because I was stuck in Bali the last time the volcano went off in 2015. And I was stuck there, as you know, missed my birthday and all that. Never got presents, by the way. And so now, 2 volcanoes are going. One erupted today, and that's not even the big one. The big one, the central volcano of Bali, do you have the name of that one?
Mount Agung.
Agung. That hasn't gone off since 1963, I think. But when it did, it killed 1,100 people. As of today, with the end of September, 150,000 people have evacuated Bali. And I strongly recommend, if you're listening to this and there's still time, get the heck off of there, because you don't want to be stuck. Trust me.
Well, Indonesian volcano Mount Sinabung exploded last Wednesday afternoon. It said that ash went 2.5 kilometers in the air over the island of Sumatra. And from this eruption, 75,000 people had fled their homes. So
get out of there if you can, if you're still able to.
Yeah, so anyway, a lot of weird things going on in the world.
Yes.
And then, this was interesting to me because this happened in Arizona. The man who claims to be the fake news writer who claimed responsibility for Trump's win was found dead.
And he was at what? How old?
He was 38.
11?
Paul Horner. Now, what's interesting to me is because unfortunately, we have our friend Christian Abraqua in Arizona, also the age of 38, who died of a heart attack inexplicably.
And he was not a drug addict?
No. And anyway, so now we have this man in Arizona, 38 years old.
But they said he was,
It said it could be an accidental overdose, but they haven't decided yet.
No.
But the issue is there's two. So is there going to be a third?
Of course, if there's two, there's three.
So I thought that was very interesting.
But we may never know who the third one is.
We might not, but we'll find out. Anyway, and then moving along, more Trump news, this time Melania Trump, who met Prince Harry for the first time while attending the Invictus Games in Toronto, Canada. She posed with Prince Harry, and the way that he had his hands, they said, was the sign of the horns.
Like this.
Yes. And
I'm very disappointed in Prince Harry, by the way.
Yeah, why?
I didn't think he was like that.
Yes, of course you did.
I was kind of hoping he would be different.
No, you didn't.
I did,
None of them are that way.
So
They're all the same.
Prince Harry be different than his father.
What's interesting to me is that they're made such a big deal out of it, because this way everybody's looking. You know, if they don't say anything, nobody really notices, but now it's all over.
It was so obvious what he did.
Yes, but the thing is, if they don't draw attention to it, people, it goes away.
Yeah, but they drew attention on purpose.
Yes, that's my point. So that it doesn't go away. Because remember what I told you for New World Religion. They want all these things out there, all this astral stuff. So devil's horns, evil spirits, darkness.
Again, where was that he did?
Yes, I just told you. Toronto, Canada.
Toronto, Canada.
When he met with her. So anyway, then they have to call in all the experts to tell you what was really going on. And this one, let me see if I have her name. Patty Wood. Patty Wood claims that putting one's hand on one's stomach is an act of self-comfort. And then she goes on to say, listen to this one, that several leaders exhibit the same gesture in photo ops with President Trump.
Yeah.
So that's telling you right there.
Hello.
And she said it looks like the devil's horn, but is also hand to belly, which is a comfort cue.
This is how I would do it, like this. Not like this. Who does this?
Well, plus they put a couple of fingers under their suit coat. So it's been seen
this
by
Patty
all...
Wood is up their butts.
Of course she is. Anyway, and so that was very interesting. And now women's rights, of course, is always in the news. And what's very interesting is Saudi King Salman ordered that women be allowed to drive cars. Now, this ends the conservative Islamic kingdom status as the only country in the world where driving for women is forbidden.
Right.
The royal decree ordered the formation of a ministerial body to give advice within 30 days and implement the order by June of 2018.
Oh, that's hysterical.
And it must apply and adhere to the necessary Sharia standards.
Listen to me. When I was in Kuwait and I saw these women drivers, this little slit. I was like, how can they see where the hell they're going?
I know, but what's sad and what is brought out a lot is the women aren't happy about it, but if they don't comply, then they are subject to the men in their lives who are their guardians, can do anything to them they want, including stoning or killing them, and nobody will ever say a word.
They're burqa babies.
Well, but the thing is, it's not really a funny thing.
It's not.
It's very tragic for these women.
Revolt.
Well, they can't.
They should.
They have to,
there's more of them than the men.
I'm telling you, they can't. It's a very difficult situation, and I think that this is just going to bring it out more and more for these women. Now, I've also been talking to you a lot about the transgender issue, so I found this one very interesting, that President Trump's senior advisor and son-in-law, Jared Kushner, identified as female on his voter registration card.
Oh, come on, I don't believe that.
Apparently, he may have voted as a female in previous elections, Their voter record detail comes after a report from Wired, which includes a copy of Kushner's voter registration card that his gender listed as female.
Stop.
And it was dated back in 2009.
Get out of here.
And it did not contain a party affiliation. Now, it's interesting to me because I've been talking to you about...
he looks like a woman.
This and Ivanka could be a male.
And
I've
Ivanka.
talked to you a little bit about this, that there is a kind of an undercurrent that the, I don't know if you want to call them global handlers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, they keep...
That they transgender their children.
I still don't get that.
And because they're turning things upside down.
You still need both, so why not just keep them where they are?
Because they want to go to artificial wombs and all of that. So it's just very interesting to me that he identified as female.
And so, if Trump was in love with his daughter, who's really a boy,
right.
Does that mean he's gay?
Well, could be. Very well could be.
You heard it here first,
and
folks.
Speaking of Ivanka, according to this report, which again, a lot of these, this is what's in the news, but you know, monkey see, monkey do. So, according to this story, women are reportedly heading to their plastic surgeons to look more like Ivanka Trump.
Are you doing that?
And according to The Hill on page 6, a New York plastic surgeon said that about 50 women have asked for the Ivanka look since last summer, and about 4 women a month have come to him to ask for Ivanka's look.
Who said this?
He didn't list
Some
names.
plastic surgery?
Plastic surgeon, dear.
Oh, plural.
A New York plastic surgeon.
Yeah, but they don't say who he is.
No,
okay.
Not in my article, but you might be able to look it up for yourself because it was in The Hill and another publication called Page 6, which I just said.
Okay.
These patients can expect to spend almost $50,000 to look like the permanent Ivanka.
Why would you want to look like her? She's not that pretty, in my opinion.
No, but I think that's because, again, if you look like that, you're going to look like a man. If you're a female.
Do you think she looks like a man?
She's very tall and like this.
I mean, Jared looks like a woman, and he sounds like a woman.
Yeah, but she very well could be. That's what they're trying to tell you, that the top models and all these people are really transgendered. So I don't know if I agree 100% with that, but I think there's more to it than what meets the eye, or they wouldn't be putting this all over the place.
Just keep your parts.
Well, keep what you are. We've been telling you that for a long time.
Really, just keep your parts.
Now, this next story is also interesting to me because it's about people being offended by everything. Right? Just listen to me and I will tell you. Keep looking over it before I tell you the news, and then you're not surprised. So be surprised, okay?
Okay.
So the next story is, go back here, is that, now this was also, a lot of people don't like this term African American because a lot of...
Am I a European American?
Right, and because a lot of African Americans say they never were even in Africa.
An alien
so
American?
most African Americans, which is I guess the politically correct term that I've talked to, they really just want to be called black because that's really what they are.
Exactly.
Like we're white, they're black.
Right.
Anyway.
I also like the term people of color. I have a color.
Exactly.
I'm not like crystal clear.
Anyway, the president of Lipscomb University, apparently, which is a Christian university based in Nashville, invited African American students to his home for dinner. And at the dinner, apparently they had a stock of cotton. And the students determined that was an offensive centerpiece.
Okay. It was like in a vase or something?
I guess, like we have things in a vase, right?
Uh-huh.
And so they considered it offensive. So
if you have a piece of cotton in your house and a black person comes over, they're offended.
I guess. And if you wear cotton, I guess they're offended
Seriously.
too.
I mean, please cut it out.
So then, but what's interesting, then the next part is, remember, this is the South, Nashville. They served, to me, because my family's from the South, a Southern type meal, which
But you're from
included...
Seattle.
My family, as I just said, is from the South.
Oh, don't get belligerent.
They had macaroni and cheese, collard greens, and cornbread.
I love that stuff.
Etc. They called that a black meal, and they said that was...
I love that. I'm not black and I eat that.
Exactly. And I was raised with fried cornbread, and I was raised with
people
greens.
get over yourselves, seriously. So if I eat fried rice, that means I'm offending Chinese people? Seriously?
So, what's interesting is the president then offered an apology. He said, quote, "I sincerely apologize for the discomfort, anger, or disappointment we caused and solicit your forgiveness. The content of the centerpieces was offensive, and I could have handled the situation with more sensitivity."
He's a wuss.
Well, I'm sure he's told, obviously, what to write because they have lawyers and attorneys. But the point is they're setting all of this up for everybody. This is like re-education, you know, like the communists re-educated people, and they talk about the re-education.
Are you talking about my peeps?
They're talking about, you know, the re-education camps in North Korea. This is re-education of people. So that everybody has to say, well, I'm sorry, you know, you can't like a stalk of cotton. You can't like a cotton T-shirt. I mean,
so if there are fields of cotton growing, that's offensive to the black
and a black meal or a white meal.
We should have no cotton anywhere.
I guess. And you certainly can't put it in a centerpiece on your table.
Oh, for God's sake.
So anyway, to
Grow
me,
up,
if I was in the South and somebody served me Southern type food, I'm happy because I want to eat the food of the region.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, this was a really lovely thing that they did.
I agree.
And the fact that this was the response, I think, is
it's
really...
just people looking for trouble is what they are.
But
They just want to cause trouble.
It's a re-education of the public. Everything is going to offend you, and then they're going to put you into something else.
You can just be nothing.
Right, you can be a nothing.
Be a nothing.
Now this was also interesting because this apparently happened in 2015, but now, it's just now, of course, they're reporting it on the news. A Silicon Valley engineer who created Google Street View and apparently helped with Uber, and I never heard of this, Waymo's self-driving car, apparently founded a religion that worships AI, artificial intelligence. Anthony Lewandowski founded the Singularity Church called Way of the Future back in 2015.
Okay.
And his religion worships artificial intelligence as the Godhead and seeks to develop and promote it.
Huh.
So anyway, I thought that was
So you're supposed to create a computer?
Maybe. And speaking of interesting things, then there's a story that was on Fox News. This is again what we call mainstream news anymore. About a brother and sister alien hunting team that have discovered a UFO highway across America.
I hope it goes near our house.
Chuck Zukowski and Debbie Ziegelmeyer have spent years traveling across the U.S. investigating hundreds of UFO sightings and other paranormal occurrences.
Okay.
Now what's interesting is that Chuck realized that many of these unexplained events took place on the 37th latitude. And of course 3 plus 7 is a 1, and we're also in a 1 year.
It's a 10, really.
Well, we're in a 10-year one, whatever.
Next year will be 10 years.
Anyway, his sister said the same thing. Yeah, next year is...
Yeah, 11.
So apparently a book was written on their discoveries called The 37th Parallel.
Okay.
And the 37th latitude line runs from California through Nevada, Colorado, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, and across to Virginia. And some of the things on the 37th Parallel include the Joplin Spook Lights.
We were in Joplin.
Yeah, the Aztec, Nevada incident of 1948 when a saucer allegedly crashed. Piedmont, Missouri, where 500 people reported the UFO sightings. It goes through Area 51 in Nevada and the Dulce Underground Base.
Wow. Native
American sites and also underwater caves.
Wow, how do they know the caves are underwater?
Well, because of the divers. Anyway, then apparently supposedly they were on the Science Channel. A Hollywood producer got in touch, and now they're going to make a movie about this.
Of course they will.
So they have a book, they have a movie, and they have...
And I don't have a movie.
And they're all telling you about aliens. Okay? So
I could be a consultant if you like.
Yeah. So, then the next story I have for you...
You know, I don't want any cotton around.
...is about deceit. Now, what do spiders stand for in...
Webs of deceit.
Okay. So, listen to this one. Bernie Sanders, Barack Obama, former First Lady Michelle Obama all have a new species of spiders named after them.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Isn't that interesting?
They deserve that.
And not only that, but this is not the first species named after former President Obama. He has 10 spider species named after him.
Obama 1, Obama 2, Obama 3.
Now, isn't that interesting that all these people who are masters of deceit have spiders named after them? Because, I mean, like, I wouldn't want that, honestly. If they said, do you want to have a spider named after you?
I would like scorpions named after me.
I would say, please don't name a spider after me. I really don't want that distinction. But they're
like
calling it an honor. So, now the next one is also very interesting to me because this one reminds me of medieval times when philosophers and scientists were jailed for their belief system. Now, we've talked a lot about how they're bringing back those times and replaying them again, right? Now, and I put this in, I saw it somewhere, and I thought, geez, this can't be true. But I put it in my Google search engine, and you cannot believe the number of articles
What about what?
that are calling to punish global warming skepticism as a criminal offense. Now, it says that the call for this to happen has surged in the aftermath of Hurricanes Harvey and Irma.
Listen to me. Harvey and Irma were not a result of global warming. They were a result of HAARP and meteorological, artificial, technological development.
Okay, but listen to me. Climate change denial should be a crime, according to a headline in a paper called The Outline.
Yeah, I wonder who's behind that.
Then, in September 7th, an article in The Nation titled, "Climate Denialism is Literally Killing Us, and that murder is murder and we should punish it as such."
So if I say I don't believe in global warming, that's murder?
How?
Tell me that.
Well, right now they're starting with the officials. So this one person said, in the wake of Harvey, it's time to treat science denial as gross negligence and hold those who do the denying accountable. And the executive director of Climate Hawks Vote, that's what it's called, posted a set of climate disaster response rules, and the third was to put officials who reject science in jail.
They should be in jail.
So what's interesting to me is, like I said, this is all the things that happened in the Middle Ages.
This is Nazism. And let's remember that the man who founded Weather Channel said there's no such thing as global warming, that it's fake.
So maybe he's in jail by now.
He created the Weather Channel.
So listen to this one. This article continues. Apparently Pope Francis gave his opinion.
Yeah, because I trust what he says.
He said that the 2 Category 4 storms offer proof of catastrophic climate change.
Right, because there never was Category 4 before.
Even though they are the first 2 major hurricanes to make landfall on the U.S. mainland in 12 years.
Listen, people, there have been worse storms hundreds of years ago, okay? These were nothing comparatively.
And Pope Francis says, quote, "You can see the effects of climate change with your own eyes, and scientists tell us clearly the way forward," and said that leaders have a moral responsibility to take action.
Wait, the Pope is talking about moral responsibility? Let's see, he's the one who turned in Argentinian dissidents to the junta who had those people executed, and he's the one who protected pedophiles in the church. Oh, he's talking about morality? Really?
And what's interesting, I'm just going to throw this in there on my blog, somebody wrote in there about how her husband was raised in the Catholic Church, and that the Catholic Church sent him a bill for $5,300. That's a 5 plus 3, that's an 8. $5,300 to that her husband was to pay over 5 years to help defend priests who were, I guess, suspected in quotes of abusing young boys.
Which is like almost all of them.
So her husband quit the church.
Yeah,
but
duh.
the other point of this is what I'm telling you. Not only are they bringing back the Middle Ages, but they're also, with Pope Francis talking about this, they're again putting church and government together. So we have a lot of things coming down the pike. So I'm leaving this one on kind of a serious note, in my opinion, for you.
This is a very serious thing,
because if you're not allowed to say what you want, and we talk about this in the U.S.
No freedom of speech.
No.
None.
That, I mean, you can't have an opinion on quote-unquote climate change,
No.
climate denialism.
You go to jail because you have a different thought?
Right, and
Seriously?
that's exactly what happened in the Nazi regime.
Actually, worse than the
Yes.
Nazi regime. Worse.
So you can't have an
the
opinion.
Nazis were a kindergarten compared to this.
Yeah, you can't have a sock of cotton on your table. You can't serve Southern food.
So if I like ribs and watermelon, I'm a racist.
Maybe.
I love those things, so that means I can't tell a black person that I ate that.
Well, especially you can't have Chinese food, you can't have Thai food, you can't have this food, you can't have that food, right?
Seriously, this world is going to hell in a hand. I don't blame the aliens one bit for what they're doing, because humans are morons.
Why they have a highway now on parallel 37.
Well, I'm going to hitchhike on that highway.
Yeah.
I hope it goes near here.
So anyway, so I found that very fascinating. So if you want to learn how to control your own mind so others don't control it for you, Hyperspace Helper, Hyperspace Plus, Healing Archetypes and Symbols, and Basic Universal Law, Decoding Your Life. If you sign up for our newsletter, I have that on Facebook all the time, you get a free book on universal law. We have, and I don't know if I can say this, maybe this is racism, because this was based on Native...
a white owl. That's not, it's racist owl.
Yeah, and Native Americans, or
oh my gosh,
American Indian, or...
Luckily, you're American Indian.
Yeah, Cherokee.
Cherokee, and you're part black too.
Yeah, I am. I have that. I have a lot of things in my ancestry.
So I can say anything I want, because I'm married to it.
To it?
Yeah. If you like
Try
it.
again, I'll have you arrested.
If you like it,
I'm
then
not
you better...
it.
The song, if you like it, then you better put a ring on it.
Well, I think that's very racist.
No, it's sexist.
It doesn't matter what it is, but according to this, you could go to jail for that. Then we have the true reality of sexuality, And of course, classics.
Blue Blood.
True Blood.
And
this is quickly becoming a classic. This is one of our bestsellers, True World History.
Except in Poland, I had to take out the Catholic stuff because they were authentic.
Yeah, so if you can read English and you're in another country, you need to have the original.
Yeah, take the original.
Stewart loves this one. What's the title?
Stewart Says.
Yeah, this is Stewart's favorite.
What did I say?
Affirmations. Okay, again, another way to help you re-imprint yourself versus what people are telling you you are. I'm going to have to do another one, like I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a cat, I'm a cow.
I'm a cotton ball.
There you go. I like that one. Maybe you could identify with the cotton ball.
Yeah.
Unless that would be offensive in case you have any black friends.
You know what? I'm not politically correct and I don't give a damn.
Yeah, but you know what? We have a lot of black clients. We have a lot of black friends.
And they love me and I love them.
We have people of all races. We have people of
and everybody got to get over themselves.
And we have people of all religions on every continent and maybe even Antarctica.
And I know that there is that because we were there.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stations on there.
Penguins love me.
Yeah. It's true.
They do.
Yeah, but they're very smelly. Penguins
but you know what? They're black and
smelly.
white. So there's like, ebony and ivory.
Yeah. Well, this is black and white practically that you're wearing almost.
Putin forever.
Yeah. All right. So we are leaving soon. Again.
Ah, that's true. Where are we going?
I don't know. To the 37th parallel?
Maybe, actually. Well, we're going on the bus trip through Texas and New Mexico.
And you had your chance to come with us?
You had your chance, now you're screwed because you can't come with me.
That's right.
And everybody else is because it's booked to capacity. And then, of course, we do have our webinars.
The self-healing group webinars. The next session starts up again here in a couple of days.
And then I come back, I unpack, wash the clothes, pack again, and I go to Poland again.
Do you have any room for your personal consultations?
I'm told that they're really booking up already, and this time I'll be in the city of Łódź.
Yeah, so if you want a personal consultation, get that done right away because I think it's about full.
And I will also be meeting with the Polish official. Then from Łódź, I will go to Belgium for 1 day, actually. And then from Belgium to Tampa, where I will be doing a seminar.
1 day seminar, right?
No, but actually first, I'm doing an investiture with the Grand Master of the Sacred Medical Order of the Knights of Hope. And he asked me to do a lecture on the Templars. And then the next day I do my seminar.
So if you're in Tampa area and you survive the hurricane.
Yeah, it'll be between November 2nd and 6th, so keep those
check our
dates in mind.
website.
And then in December till January, we go to the island, back to the islands of Nevis.
Very excited about that.
Which I use my ultimate protection technique.
Because he and God are like this.
We're like this. And they were hardly any damage on
They
me.
lost power.
2 Category 5 hurricanes, just a few trees down.
Yeah, so it's very, very good there.
We have new books coming out. We have
always have
a
things.
new website for me that I'll be doing about news.
You know, I'm not supposed to tell all this stuff until it happens.
I'm exciting them.
Well, they have too much to think about now.
Well,
they can't even handle
think
this.
too much. They can't think too much.
Let them do this first.
You know what, people? Put some cotton balls in your ear. I'm sorry, black people. Put cotton balls in your ear and forget what I said.
And then in January is our most intense class of the year.
I know, it's so intense that I'm already getting nerve damage.
Yeah, so you please sign up for that immediately because that one always fills up. And if you want a payment plan, we have that available as well.
Right.
Like our Facebook pages, share our podcasts, do whatever you can to help educate the people out there who need educating.
Now, we're not sure if there'll be a podcast next week because we'll be away.
Yeah, we're going to try and send
we'll
something.
see what happens.
But we don't know.
We don't know yet.
Okay.
So it's a mystery.
Yeah. So watch us. Watch our channel. Take care.
See you whenever.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Rise up!